Hello, my friends. Have you noticed it? You walk into rooms that once felt familiar, and something feels off. You sit in conversations that used to energize you, and now they feel shallow. You scroll through social media, and suddenly none of it speaks to you. It's not that you hate people. It's not that you've become arrogant. It's not that the world has changed overnight. It's that you have changed. And here is the truth most people won't tell you. When you no longer fit in anywhere, it's often because you are being prepared to stand apart. Stay with me until the end of this message, because what you're experiencing right now is not isolation, it's initiation. Before we go deeper, if you resonate with spiritual growth, awakening, and inner transformation, subscribe to Inner Divine. This channel exists for souls who feel different, who feel called, who feel like they don't belong to the ordinary world anymore. Comment below. I am evolving. And if this message speaks to your spirit, like the video and share it with someone who feels alone in their transformation. Now, let us go deeper. There comes a moment in spiritual evolution when the old identity begins to dissolve. Paramahansa Yogananda often spoke of self-realization, the awakening to your higher nature beyond ego, beyond social roles, beyond personality masks. But what most people do not discuss is the in-between stage. The stage where you are no longer who you used to be, but not yet fully who you are becoming. That in-between stage feels like exile. You no longer resonate with gossip. You no longer crave approval. You no longer feel excitement for things that once consumed your attention. And, because of that, you feel misplaced. But understand this clearly. When a caterpillar enters the cocoon, it does not fit in the sky yet. And it no longer fits on the leaf. Transformation creates temporary homelessness. This is not rejection. It is reconstruction. Yogananda described the soul as a wave of the infinite ocean. When you begin to remember your divine origin, you naturally detach from surface-level identity. You begin to seek depth instead of noise. And depth is rare. You may notice that your friend circle feels smaller. Your tolerance for drama decreases. You crave solitude more than stimulation. At first, you may question yourself. Why can't I just enjoy what everyone else enjoys? Why do I feel like I'm observing instead of participating? Because your consciousness is expanding. When consciousness expands, perception changes. And when perception changes, compatibility shifts. It is not that you don't fit in. It is that your frequency has changed. Imagine tuning a radio. When you move from one frequency to another, the old station disappears. It's not broken, you simply tuned higher. Many people remain tuned to the same emotional patterns for decades. Validation seeking, comparison, external success obsession. But when your inner awareness rises, those patterns feel heavy. You begin craving authenticity over performance. You begin seeking truth over approval. You begin valuing peace over popularity. And, suddenly, you don't fit the old environment. Here is the powerful part. Not fitting in is evidence of inner growth. If you still fit perfectly into environments built on superficiality, you would not be evolving. The discomfort you feel is spiritual recalibration. Yogananda left India to carry his message to the West. Imagine how foreign he must have felt. Different culture, different language, different mindset. But his not fitting in was not weakness. It was assignment. Sometimes you don't fit in because you are meant to build something new. Innovators feel this. Artists feel this. Spiritual seekers feel this deeply. You may feel like you are between worlds. Too conscious for certain spaces, too grounded for others. That is the bridge position. Bridges never belong fully to one side. They connect worlds. If you feel like you belong nowhere, you may be designed to connect everywhere. Let that settle in your heart. There is also another dimension to this experience. When you begin healing trauma, breaking generational patterns, and questioning unconscious habits, you disrupt the emotional ecosystem around you. People who knew you as reactive now see you calm. People who knew you as insecure now see you confident. People who knew you as dependent now see you self-sufficient. Growth can make others uncomfortable. Not because you are wrong, but because your evolution highlights their stagnation. And not everyone is ready for that mirror. So sometimes, you feel subtly excluded. Conversations stop including you. Invitations decrease. Energy shifts. But understand this spiritual law. As you rise in awareness, alignment becomes selective. You are not losing people. You are refining resonance. There is sacred solitude in awakening. The Buddha sat alone under the Bodhi tree. Jesus fasted in the wilderness. Mystics withdraw before revelation. Why? Because clarity is born in quiet. If you always felt perfectly understood by your environment, you might never seek deeper truth. Your sense of not belonging pushes you inward. And inward is where power lives. When you stop trying to fit in, you begin discovering who you actually are. Without social pressure, without performance, without masks. And that discovery is liberation. Let me speak to the part of you that feels lonely. Loneliness during awakening is not a permanent sentence. It is a transitional chamber. New connections are forming, but they align with your future, not your past. You cannot meet next-level relationships while clinging to old-level identity. So there is a period where you walk alone. And walking alone builds inner authority. You learn to validate yourself. You learn to enjoy your own company. You learn to trust your intuition without group consensus. That independence is power. In Western societies especially, identity is often tied to tribe, political tribe, social tribe, cultural tribe. But spiritual growth transcends tribe. It moves you into universality. You start caring less about fitting into boxes and more about embodying truth. That can feel isolating. But isolation is often the birthplace of originality. Think about every visionary in history. They were misunderstood before they were celebrated. They felt alone before they felt aligned. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not antisocial. You are evolving. And evolution rearranges social geometry. Here is something subtle but profound. Superficial entertainment doesn't satisfy. Endless scrolling feels empty. Shallow conversations feel tiring. Your nervous system is recalibrating toward meaning. And meaning is quieter than noise. Yogananda emphasized meditation because it trains the mind to detach from restlessness. As you integrate more awareness, your tolerance for chaos decreases. You don't fit into chaos because you crave coherence. That is strength, not weakness. Let me ask you something. If you suddenly fit back into every old space, every old habit, every old mindset, would that truly feel right? Or would it feel like shrinking? Growth always feels awkward before it feels empowered. Teenagers feel awkward during growth spurts. Businesses feel unstable during scaling. Souls feel displaced during awakening. But displacement is temporary. It is the reshaping of identity. And here is the empowering truth. You were never meant to fit into boxes designed for smaller versions of you. You are expanding beyond containers. When water outgrows a cup, it spills. That doesn't mean the water is wrong. It means the container is too small. Your current environments may simply be too small for your expanding consciousness. This realization should not inflate ego. It should deepen humility. Because growth also requires compassion. Not everyone is meant to evolve at the same pace. Release judgment. Keep alignment. As you continue rising, something beautiful happens. Instead of trying to belong everywhere, you begin belonging deeply where it matters. Quality replaces quantity. Depth replaces breadth. Purpose replaces popularity. And that shift changes everything. One day, you will look around and realize you are surrounded not by many, but by meaningful. Conversations will nourish. Silence will feel peaceful, not lonely. Work will align with values. Relationships will reflect respect. But this alignment cannot occur if you force yourself to fit where you have outgrown. So if today you feel different, if today you feel slightly detached from old circles, if today you feel like you are walking through life observing rather than blending, take heart. You are not misfitting. You are metamorphosing. Stand firm in your growth. Use solitude as training. Use reflection as strength. Use silence as clarity. Because the soul that learns to stand alone learns to lead. And you are not here to blend into background noise. You are here to embody awareness. If this message resonated with you, comment below, "I trust my evolution." Subscribe to Inner Divine for more awakening messages that speak to your higher self. Share this video with someone who feels like they don't belong because they may be on the edge of powerful transformation. You are not lost. You are leveling up. And sometimes, leveling up means standing apart before you stand above.